with today's discussion, that is Women at the Forefront. Now we want to switch gears and go to the next discussion, all about entrepreneurship. Now remember, as I mentioned earlier, this segment is about encouraging you to just get started on your entrepreneurial journey. So many of us have reservations when it comes to setting up shop, starting a business. There's always doubt. We are always unsure of ourselves when we want to move forward, but there's always something holding us back. And this segment is just here to encourage you and to give you tips and pointers as to how you can go about starting that business, getting that idea into an actual project and bringing it to life. In as much as we are in tough times, it is actually the best time to start a business. And to help us with this discussion this morning, we have with us Joseph Wakaba, who is the CEO of Mufasa Tours and Travels. Karibu sana, Mr. Joseph. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Asante for hosting us also.
Absolutely. We could start with your social media handles so that our viewers can also get to talk with you on our social media front.
Okay, our Instagram page is Mufasa Travels, our Twitter Mufasa Tours, and our Facebook page Mufasa Travels KE. Those ones you'll be able to get all our deals, all our packages for traveling, and anything that you need in terms of traveling.
Absolutely. Now let's just get straight into it. And looking at Mufasa Tours and Travels, it has been there for quite some time. And maybe you could tell us, how Mufasa Tours and Travels came to be. What was the story behind founding this tours and travel company?
Okay, as I was a child, my parents used to make us travel a lot because my dad used to travel so much. His business was related to traveling. So he used to drive us from this place to this place. Every time we close school, we are going to different places. So you find you're very well known to these places when you grow up. So I decided to create experiences for people when they're traveling to different places. For us, we used to travel for business, but I turned it into an experience for different people. So when you want to go to Mombasa, you don't only go for business, but you can go and enjoy yourself at the beach. If you're going to see the wild animals in the Masai Mara, these are opportunities that I created so that people can have to enjoy during their free times. Yeah.
And looking at how, the company has grown over the years, would you say it was more of business, or it was also paired up with passion that has actually helped you push this company to where it is today?
I can say it is passion. Mostly it's passion, not about business, because if you want something to succeed, mostly do it as a basis of passion, because passion is self-driven. So for me, traveling, every time I used to do something, you find it's becoming travel related. If you're going to Mombasa, you have to do something that is travel related. So at the end of it all, it became something that it had to become a travel experience for my other people. Yeah.
Now, looking at when you were starting this business, was a business model in the books? This was just an up and go kind of situation?
When I started, first of all, when you're starting a travel industry, it's a bit hectic because you have to have the know-how of these places and what they offer.
Absolutely.
So if you take someone to a place where you don't know, it becomes a challenge. So you have to first experience this place so that you can take someone there and show them the experience that you had also. So when you create experiences, then that's when business comes into place.
Okay.
Yes.
And for our young folk who are looking to start businesses, you find most of them just waking up and deciding, leo nafungua shop ya manguo, kesho nafungua hii, kesho nafanya hii. They just up and go. But as you say, you had to take your time to do your research. And why was this important, especially when you were just trying to figure out the rocks when you want to start the business? Why is research and development so important before you start any business?
I can say research and development is a very key issue when it comes to tourism. It's very important because you can't take someone to some place you've never been to, because if that person experiences a challenge, you need to have with you a solution at hand, so that if anything happens, you have something to help the person with.
Yes.
If I've never taken you to a place, if I've never been to a place myself, I cannot take you, because it's very challenging also for me, because I don't know what experiences you'll get from the same place. Yeah. Some places we advise guests that we have never been to, and we don't take guests there, so we advise them to go to different places. Reason being, we don't want you to undergo challenges when you're in the place. We don't want you to have a bad experience at the place. So we want to give you a place that is 100% guaranteed, that when you go, you come back, you'll have a positive feedback to us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And given you're in this tours and travel industry, you interact so much with the people. That means, your people skills have to be very sharp.
Yes.
And looking at, your journey so far, maybe you could tell us, when it comes to this industry, what are some of those resources that you feel are very important for those young people who want to join the tours and travel industry?
One of the key resources that you have to have when you're joining the tourism industry is know-how. You have to travel. Like it or not, you have to travel, because some of these places are very far, some of these places are very costly. So resource number one, you have to know you have to have the knowledge of these places, because a guest can come and ask you a very difficult question that you may not be able to answer. Yes. So knowledge is very important. Number two, you have to have some capital to help you start. These places you don't go free.
You don't wish you were there.
You have to wish you are there. If you don't have the money, you have to wish. Because if you don't have the money, you would not be able to get to the destination, because you cannot walk from here to Mombasa. You have to incur costs such as the train tickets, go to the hotels, pay for accommodation. So capital is a very important key also when starting the tourism industry. Another third very important point is you have to know the places that people have to sleep. Accommodation is very important. You have to talk well with these hotels, get the best deals from them. You have to know what they have, the guests will come to enjoy. That's a very important key thing.
Yes.
Yes. Number four, you have to have people that will be able to respond to customers. Labor is a very important key when it comes to tourism. Customer service is everything. If you don't have customer service in the tourism industry, I don't think you'll survive.
You will not survive. It's a people's industry.
It's a people's industry, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, speaking of customer service, this involves a team. And now looking at your journey, how did you go about building that team and building a team that actually sticks together through thick and thin, all for the good of the company?
At first, it was a challenge, because you have to, the first people you first come to is your family. Number two, you have to come to your friends so that they can support you and see whether this idea will come into a reality. So they have to support you. The friends are very important. You have to take them for a trip for free so that you can explain to them, waone, what are you talking about?
And not free always.
It's not free always, but for the first one, for the first one you have to.
Yeah.
Like it or not, because you have to show them that this is something that I'm willing to do.
They need to experience it.
You have to experience it so that when you are going in the years to come, you'll be able to pay now for what I'll be offering.
All right.
Yes, your family also is very important, because your family is everything. When something goes wrong, you always lean back to your family.
Back to the family.
Yeah, because you'll be able there and tell them, support me here and there. Yes.
All right. Now, you just mentioned, using getting to give free opportunities, free traveling packages to some people to get, the business going.
Yes.
Looking at the marketing tools that you need to employ, this is just mentioned is one of them. What other marketing tools and avenues do you think our young entrepreneurs can employ when it comes to just getting the business up and running as you're starting off?
I can say in the era that we are running into this time now, I think the young generation are very lucky, because we have the social media which has come to make life very easy. You have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have Facebook. All these places are avenues that you can venture into and showcase your traveling experiences to people. Compared to long time where you had to have the hard copies of brochures, convincing people. Yeah, it was difficult, but I can say now things are walk in the park. You can use the social media as your platforms to market yourself. Yes.
All right. Now, as we all try to get a business up and going, of course, it's not a novel idea. Of course, you're joining an industry that has already been existing there. But what is it that you can say about Mufasa has set it apart in this tours and travel industry that has made it grow over the years?
What has made Mufasa grow over the years is that the target...
The it factor.
Yeah. The main factor that has made us succeed over the years is the target market that we have. Our target market is a young generation. When I started, I never ventured into marketing into the working class at the moment. I had to first showcase my study to my age group, because I'm very young. I'm only 27 years old, so that is my age group. It's very difficult for me to convince a 40-year-old person to go on a vacation, as compared to convincing my 27, 26-year-old person who I'm studying with. So young generation was what made me start.
Okay.
That is my main factor, and I'm encouraging them to travel a lot because the packages that I normally offer on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and the places I've been to is places that even the prices that I've put on the pages is mainly young oriented.
For the young population.
It's tailored for the young population, yes.
Okay.
So you find we are going for road trips, for campings. So you find when you have a group, you have a group of about 40 to 50 people going for a road trip. So that is the target market that we started with. Then over the years now, also the old generation has come on board to join us now for the vacations to Mombasa, Masai Mara, because now the parents are seeing their children are traveling with this Mufasa. What is this Mufasa thing that you're talking about every day? So I want to also experience, can we go on a family holiday?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And as you were starting off, you've mentioned, your target, you had your target in mind, and that's what you've gone for.
Yes.
But over the years, I'm sure there are those mistakes that you have made that you wish you could have, made that decision otherwise. But looking at those mistakes that you made, how would you say they have helped you continue building the company? If you don't mind, you could give us an example.
There are very many mistakes I've made.
Those ones that you remember that you cringe about. Unasikia kulia saa zingine.
There are very many.
Yeah.
So the first one is some of these destinations, maybe sometimes you underpriced a guest. You have gone, the guests are not 2, they are about 50. So you can imagine the loss that you are undergoing. So those are some of the challenges that I experienced when I started, because the logistics was a problem.
Yeah.
And I was not well related to the tourism industry, because tourism, I told you, was a passion. So for me, I was doing it as a passion, not as a business. But at the same time, if you're making losses, you cannot survive. So no matter how much passion is driving you, business has to come into place. So when we went for this road trip, sometimes you are making very big losses. Those are things that I never forget in my life, because you find this trip that maybe you have planned na sasa iko na watu wengi.
Yes.
Ndio unapata hasara ndio kubwa.
Na watu wameona deal.
Na watu ndio wameona ndio deal. So it becomes a very big challenge, but at the end of the day, it created a very good experience for them. That's what I value most. I don't value money, because money comes and goes, but experience is something that they will never forget. So these people will always be traveling with you. Hata ukipandisha bei kidogo tu kesho, watalipa tu, because wanaona this person has value for the money.
And this takes you back to research and development and why it's really important.
Yes.
Before you venture out, you always need to go there and figure things out before you decide to bring people over.
Correct.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to money, and as you have said, you've made some poor financial decisions along the journey, and of course you've learned along the journey and paid for them, ultimately, to just keep the business afloat. Now, when it comes to, getting some classes here and there to help you know how to manage finances, is this something you would encourage our young population to look towards when it comes to teaching them how to manage money when you're in business?
Without economics, I don't think you'll survive in business, because you need always to check your accounts. If you're making losses, you'll not survive in Nairobi.
Yes.
Nairobi, jiji la wajanja. So you have to be very careful when you're coming to making your ends meet. So accountants with you have to let them be your backbone. So that when you're making something, they have to tell you, this one will bring a problem, this one will not bring a problem. So you have to always make your mathematics, logistics in place, so that when you're making the next step, you don't have to have a challenge.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, when things are tough, kuna kuanga na high season, low season, especially in the tours industry. And a good example is now with this pandemic.
Yes.
How have you just made sure that your business is not going under? You're still keeping it running and looking at other avenues to just cushion the tough times?
COVID has made tourism a very big challenge.
Yeah.
And what we have done, we are making sure, if it comes to the hotels, we are making sure they have complied. Recently, before the borders were open, I traveled to almost 80% of the hotels in Kenya to make sure they have complied with the protocols of the Ministry of Health. And I can say a majority, 80% have complied. So when you get to the hotel, they have sanitized, they have kept distance of the dining areas. The hotels the rooms are always clean, fumigated. So these ones has helped us to keep our tourists always traveling and made them feel safe when they are traveling. When it comes to the transport industry, tourism, since before COVID, tourism has always met the requirements of making sure our guest is comfortable. So even in the vehicles, you find 1 meter distance is observed. Social distancing is key. The sanitizers are always in the car. So this one has always helped us guests to always feel safe when they're traveling with us.
All right.
Yes.
So that reassures them even when things get tough, especially during this pandemic, you just reassure them that your health is our number one priority.
Correct.
All right. And that is one thing that, any business should be about, customer-led, customer satisfaction-led.
Correct.
Now, when it comes to Mufasa as an organization, I believe that those values that describe this organization, when someone thinks of Mufasa Tours and Travels, they think of these specific values. Maybe what are those values? You could tell us more about those values that Mufasa stands by when it comes to service delivery.
Number one is customer service. Every time you book with us, be it you're going to Dubai, be it going to Masai Mara, wherever you're going to, we are always following up with you every day to make sure there is no problem you're having. So customer service is very important. Number two, our prices are very affordable. So when it comes to prices, we're always making sure we are getting you the best deal in the market so that you can be able to travel even in these difficult times. Yes, so price affordability, customer service, very important. Reliability when it comes to response, when you send us an email, we are always very fast. Yeah.
See your check DM. Especially
you can send
times,
now. Jaribu sahi uone.
You will get response
immediately.
And I think that is one of the avenues that is really affecting young businesses these days. You're afraid to put your prices out there because you feel maybe this is overrated or underrated, so you decide to hide in the DM. So when somebody asks for a price, you're like, check DM.
Yeah, correct. So we are very fast. Because
when it comes to response.
When it comes to response, because another thing you should consider is that factor in is that tourism at the moment is very competitive now. We have so many companies, so you're trying to get this opportunity as fast as possible and give the client the best deal as possible so that the guest can book with you immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as an organization, when it comes to reinvesting in the company, you find so many young people, once your business has, broken even, you start earning, you start making profits, you do not reinvest as much in the business, and some business go under. And this is why so many new startups go under in the first 3 years. When it comes to reinvesting in the company, how have you guys done it, and how has it helped you keep the business running?
I can say that is mainly why 80% of companies, when they start at a young stage, they fail, because mtu akipata tu pesa kidogo ni kukula. Amekafunga. Tunasema kuomoka. Ukiomoka sasa unakula zote. But it's very good. Your business is like a child.
Yes.
So the moment it gives you some income, always learn to bring back the money to the business. Employ more staff to be as responsive to the other guests, and bring in more improved technology to be as fast responsive to the guests.
Yes.
Pesa ikipatikana, nunua gari mpya, give guests the best service they can have. Don't always think about having that profit. This profit will always stand in the bank na itakusaidia. The only way that money can help you is by reinvesting in the business. Yes, so that you can earn more.
All right.
Yeah, shilingi na mbuliko na ingine.
Usione this month has been so good, you decide to go all out, balling at the expense of the company.
Yes.
Which is, I think, one of the biggest reasons that our young people are struggling with businesses. There's always this, there was this conversation on social media where guys are wondering why this Fortune 500 company a company has been in the family for almost 100 years.
Yes.
And you're wondering how it has survived. And this is how they do.
Yes.
By reinvesting and not just chopping money when you see money.
Correct.
Wanasemanga penda zoea pesa ikuzoe.
Yes, correct.
Zoea pesa ikuzoe.
Correct.
Now, also another aspect when it comes to businesses in this day and time, you find a business could be set up here, but the people surrounding that place are living in contrast of the business itself. When it comes to appreciating where you are located and also just going out with a CSR project to help the people around, how are you guys employing this?
We are making sure traveling is mainly, you have to adjust with what the client wants. If you find you are in contrast with what the market you're providing does not need, it needs you to change whatever you're providing to the market. So if you're providing safaris and maybe the client does not want safaris, they want to go to the beach, then it's for you to adjust yourself and now sell beach activities instead of selling wildlife activities.
Okay.
So tourism requires someone who is able to adjust him or herself. Don't always be fixed on one direction. You have to be adjusting. Weza kubadilika kukienda hivi. Yeah, when the pressure is on this side, go the other side. Yeah, correct.
Usikae ngumu hapo
Usikae
at the
ngumu.
expense of
Yeah,
your company.
tourism is a challenge. So, and tourism is very sensitive. Hii mwaka elections. The other year we have now the locusts which were in Samburu. So you have to always be like a ball. Be able to move, adjust yourself any side.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, you had mentioned that your target audience, your target rather market was, the young category, the younger people.
Yes.
Have you ever found yourself in a position where you have to turn down a client because they're going against, the principles and values of your organization?
Yes, we have had so many requests. Sometimes you find a request is coming and it may tarnish the name of your firm because of one or two factors that maybe that you're considering. So for those, we normally advise the guests. This one we cannot do because of one or two things. Building the name has become a difficult journey. So we cannot allow one client to come and now he wants us to adjust our way of doing things to suit him. And then at the end of it, will destroy our name. So we normally advise our clients, when something is possible, it's possible. When it's not possible, we normally tell them straight to the eye, it's not possible.
Now, for someone out there watching us might be like, okay, see, bora analeta pesa, why is it important to just know, to have boundaries when it comes to how you run your business, especially looking at the values that are attached to your organization, knowing to say no in as much as you're losing some money, but you're maintaining the value and dignity of your company.
As you said before, to me a pesa ikuzoe. But kuna mahali inafika, it's not about money, it's about your future. You can take one deal that can keep you off. So it's for you to decide whether you want to run your name for the next 50 years or you want it to end in the next 2 years. So it's not about money. Tourism is not about money, it's about experiences. And if I'm looking forward to destroying your experience, then wacha hiyo pesa ikae. Yeah, let me take another person.
Learning to say no. It's not always about saying yes just because it's bringing you money.
Yes.
So especially when you have such a service-oriented service industry, you need to learn how to say no sometimes just to keep the business going. Remember, we're talking to the CEO of Mufasa Tours and Travel, that is Joseph Wakaba, trying to establish how they have been doing what they are doing over the years to keep the business going. And even when adversity hits, the business is still running because of the foundation that you set your organization on. Now, for the young people out there who are struggling with ideas, uko na idea nyingi sana, you want to start these businesses, but you don't know how to start. Looking at mentorship and guidance, what would you say? What role has it played towards helping you with this business?
One thing I'll tell the young people is biashara sio rahisi, ni ngumu. And once you see things are becoming hard, just know you're moving in the right direction.
In the right direction?
Yes. When things are hard, know you're moving in the right direction because nothing comes easy. So if you are young there and you have an idea that you want to start, the first thing you should do is to start. That is always the first step. Start is not about money. This one will come later. Even if you will make the first, customer service is very important, as I said before.
Yes.
You start. If you are selling water in the shop, make sure ule client amekuja pale mara ya kwanza is happy so that he can come back tomorrow, because that client will tell the other one.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth is another form of marketing. So for you is not to usikufe moyo, because there are so many challenges that you will face when you're coming up, and God can never give you something that you cannot manage. It's not haiendi hivyo. So it's for you to adjust yourself and always have hope for a brighter future to come.
All right.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to branding your business,
Yes.
Mufasa, especially now in the tourism industry, what you see is really vital for the customer.
Yes.
When it comes to branding, and even starting with the name of your agency, which you will tell us why you chose that name. It reminds us of Lion King, so you will answer that first, why you chose the name Mufasa.
Yes.
And also when it comes to branding and making sure that what people see is what you are actually, delivering.
Yes.
How important is that to any business out there, regardless of what industry you are in? Let's start with the name Mufasa.
It's very important when you're starting a business.
Yeah.
The first thing you first have to have is the name. You have to have an attractive name, something that is related to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that even when clients are looking for you even online, or they are trying to get the best deal possible somewhere,
Yeah.
that's the first thing that comes to their mind. So that's where I came up with the name Mufasa. Mufasa means king. So I wanted to start, I told you traveling was a passion for me, and I've traveled to many places. So I wanted to start something that once it started, it's for us to take the market.
Mm-hmm.
No one else but Mufasa.
Yes.
So you had to have a name that is very good in terms of being big, and it's also related to what you're doing. Mufasa means king, and so far I believe what we are providing guests and the number that we are taking guests to different destinations,
Mm-hmm.
I think we are one of the best travel agencies in Kenya so far.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is number one, we are the king, and we are still striving to become the best in Africa. And number two, Mufasa was acted in Lion King, so it's also related to wildlife.
Yeah.
So many guests wanakuja, tunaenda Masai Mara, wanaona gari Mufasa, they are like, this is Mufasa. Maybe at a chilly spot we are watching the lions. So it's very, it encourages guests even to look at the name and also to book with you, because it has some history.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Mm.
So that is the importance of a name.
Very important.
Now, when it comes to investing in the brand of the company, the look of the company, the resources that you're using, for, in this case, the vehicles that you use to take your clients on tours,
Mm-hmm.
keeping them in top condition.
Yes.
As opposed to having, just because you may be having 10 vehicles, you don't feel, okay, see, iko sawa.
Mm-hmm.
You can break down, you get the other, you don't fix this other one. When it comes to making sure that your image is intact, it is solid, why has this been important for you?
It is important because you have transport is a very crucial industry when it comes to tourism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crucial factor when it comes to tourism, because traveling is about using the transport. If there is no transport, I don't think we'll be able to travel, because this is what makes us move from point A to point B. So with us, we normally have a fleet of vehicles with us that be able to travel to different destinations.
Yes.
So these fleet are always on site. If anything happens, if one breaks down, and then the other will be able to respond very fast. And then these destinations, some of them are very tough when it comes to traveling. Like you go to the safari destinations, the roads are very bad. So we normally make sure our cars, after every safari when they come, the car has to go for mechanic repair, make sure it is in good condition. After several years, when it becomes old, we change, we buy a new one, ili hata mgeni akibebwa anasikia vizuri. Yeah. So we make sure the cars are always in very good condition, because without the vehicles, I think we'll just stay in Nairobi. Yeah.
The car doesn't go on a breakdown, and guys are wondering, okay, at first it's supposed to be a tours and travel industry,
We are always
company.
very responsive.
Yes.
Yes.
You need to always make sure that whatever represents your organization, your little business, your big business is top notch.
Yes, correct.
Don't compromise on the quality.
Yes.
Now, as an entrepreneur, what would you say, is the hardest bit about being an entrepreneur? Given that you are young, you are in this very sporadic industry right now, in low season, but you're
Yes.
still in business.
Yes.
What has been the hardest bit about being an entrepreneur as a young person?
The hardest bit of being an entrepreneur is that, one, COVID has made things very slow at the moment.
Yeah.
So you find bookings zimepungua sana. So people are staying at home, no one is traveling, and those ones that are traveling are very few. So you find that has become a very big challenge, because for the image has to remain up there.
Yeah.
No matter whether the business is good, whether it's bad. So maintaining the image has become a challenge, but we are still surviving and we are still there. Hata ukikuja tutaenda tu. We are not, hatujasema hatuendi sababu watu hawaendi. Even kama huko sisi tunaenda tu. So it's for you to join us. So that has become a very big challenge.
Yes.
Another challenge has become is in terms of traveling now, because not many people are traveling. You find even in the hotels sometimes watu sio wengi vile kama kitambo.
Yeah.
But you still find Kenya, in fact I could say Kenyans have responded very well now because they are traveling so much, because I think after kufungiwa hiyo miezi 4 unataka tu kutoka. Utaki kujua kwenye unaenda, but you just want to find yourself somewhere different from the house.
Just go.
Yeah, so a challenge was the bookings reduced drastically. And now because people are not traveling even abroad, that created also a very big challenge. Yeah, because airlines contribute a lot to the tourism industry.
Okay.
Yes. Also, in terms of finances, it was a challenge because we had to maintain our bills, and kazi ilikuwa iko chini, which was difficult, but I can say we are managing.
Yeah.
And things are still running okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's not always doom and gloom as an entrepreneur. What are the best parts about being self-employed, being your own boss?
The best thing about being self-employed is hakuna mtu anakuambia uamke.
But that could be a double-edged sword. You know, when you have no one to keep you in check, you have to do it yourself. You find so many people, they struggle with that balance. Kesho si biashara nilifunga late leo, let me sleep in tomorrow.
Let me tell you now, self-employment is more challenging than being employed, because sasa hakuna mtu anakuambia amke, but you have to wake up every day.
Discipline.
Discipline is very important. If you're not disciplined, if I was not disciplined when I was young, I don't think I'll be self-employed at the moment. Because when we are young, we used to be woken up mapema, kwenda shule, jioni, kurudi, homework lazima ufanye. So, and our parents were there to watch us, everything that we are doing. So, kama sio discipline, I don't think we'll be able to be here. So, hiyo ime-contribute sana kwa hii industry. If self-employment, you have to be self-disciplined.
Yes.
Na self-employment haina Monday ama Sunday. It's you to work throughout. And you have no closing or opening hours. You're working anytime. Yeah, that's what I can tell people who want to become self-employed.
You will work until you sleep.
Yes. Tumia pesa hadi kuzoea. So you have no Sunday, no Monday, no Tuesday. All days for you are the same.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So my youth out there, I don't think, leaving employment to join entrepreneurship is going to be a walk, a rosy walk in the garden. You need to just be very disciplined. You need to learn how to keep yourself on a leash, because you have no one to keep you on a leash. You don't have a boss to tell you do this, do that. No. You can do this now, don't do that now, open business now, close now. This is all you. So as you choose to go into business, discipline is vital in any industry. Now, as we bring the conversation to a close, to all our youth and our young people, and even the grown folk who are watching us this morning and they've been wanting to start a business, you can speak mostly for those who want to join the tourism and travel industry. What would be your advice to them?
If you want to join the tourism industry, one, I told you, you come to traveling, there is no compromise. That one, you have to move from point A to point B anytime. Unaweza itwa Mombasa, unaweza itwa Masai Mara, unaweza itwa Kisumu. These ones are things that you have to get used to.
Yes.
Number 2, you have to be very disciplined if you want to join the tourism industry, because it's a very sensitive industry. It's an industry that requires for you to be very competent, and it's guests. You are the image of the company. So what guests see in you is what they will see that you will provide to them. So you have to be very disciplined. You have to be very careful whatever you are providing to guests, because if anything happens, shida ni kwako. Yeah, these guests are looking upon you. So also another key important thing that you're looking into the industry of tourism, also make sure you have gone by the protocols of the Ministry of Health at the moment, because COVID-19 is becoming a challenge for everyone, and you have to keep guests as safe as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. There you have it. So if you want to join this industry, the tourism industry, you need to love people, you need to love how to travel, you need to learn how to keep up with the changing times if you want to stay afloat in business. Now, I can see, and of course, especially for the youth right now, when it comes to helping your business grow, employ all the marketing tools that are readily available to you. I can see up on social media, it's just TJ, Wakamoto Sana with Mufasa Tours. And that is what it's all about, using what is available to you that won't cost too much to make the most out of it. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Okay, Karim.
We have been speaking with Joseph Okaba, who is the CEO of Mufasa Tours and Travels, telling us about how his entrepreneurial journey has been. It hasn't always been smooth, but still here, still standing, and still growing strong. And this is what entrepreneurship is all about. Be disciplined, stay true to your cause, love what you do, and at the end of the day, you're going to break even and you're going to be making money. But remember to reinvest that money. Don't eat all that money. Okay? There's a future to think of. Don't just think of today. Think about tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Think about your children's future as you are setting up any business if you want to have children. Okay? So that is that for Entrepreneurship Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday. And remember, if you want to learn something, please feel free to always send in those questions and comments. We appreciate them, and any clarifications that you may be needing in regards to this discussion. So with that, we want to put a cap on today's discussion. Thank you so much for staying with us from 7 a.m. up until now. We always appreciate you for making time to be with us every Monday through to Thursday. Be sure to join us again tomorrow morning right here on KBC for another edition of Good Morning Kenya. I am Jane Wamboy. Have a lovely day. God bless. See you tomorrow.